Hey there, friends. How's it going? You know, I got thinking about my childhood and the video games I played growing up. We didn't have a ton of them, but the ones we did have, boy, did we play them. I can remember taking on my older brother in GoldenEye and often losing horribly. Or heading over to my best friend's house to cause chaos in GTA San Andreas. It got me wondering, are the classics really worth picking up and playing again? I mean, I know that there is a huge list of games that have been remastered or re released in one way or another because of their initial popularity. What I mean, though, is the game still fun to play after all these years? Or has it had its time in the spotlight and should just remain a fond memory of, oh yeah, I loved playing that game as a kid? Full disclosure, I'm not here to bash the game for outdated graphics, awful audio work, or anything like that. My mission is to play as much of the game as I can and form my own opinion on whether I think it holds up compared to today's modern titles. Without further ado, let's jump into today's game, The Elder Scrolls Arena. Released in 1994, this game features you as the champion of Tamriel. You are tasked by a ghost lady to save all of Tamriel by rescuing the Emperor Uriel Septim VII. As the hero, you need to piece together the Staff of Chaos and defeat the evil battle mage, Jaeger Tharn. Jaeger Tharn? Nah, I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. I started by creating my character and was quite surprised on the amount of choices I had. I ultimately settled on a good old Nord Knight. Once I decided on my stats, it was time to set off on my quest. The game starts you off by talking to the ghost lady, who explains what's going on. You wake up in a dungeon and immediately get to work. After figuring out how to move, I was off to save Tamriel. Playing this game for the first time definitely had its challenges. I kid you not, it took me 3 straight hours to get out of the first dungeon, and most of the time, when I actually made progress, I would forget there is no autosave and die at the hands of a skeever or goblin and have to start all over again from the very beginning. But I persevered and pushed on to find the portal and eventually reach the town of Winterhold. After wandering around aimlessly, asking questions about what to do next, and doing a few side quests, I was ready to buy some gear and head out, just as soon as I could figure out how to get out of town. After getting out of Winterhold, I started heading west to Hammerfell. So I did what any great adventurer would do. I started walking, and walking, and walking.
It's been 84 years.
During all that free time, I thought to myself, for a game that was made over 30 years ago, it's awfully big. So I consulted my journal to figure out why I hadn't reached my destination yet. It turns out that this game is procedurally generated, meaning things like the towns and the overworlds are randomly generated as you play, which I think is really cool. I love games that do that. It makes it feel like there's so much more to explore, but on the downside, it makes it practically impossible to walk the full distance to your next location, meaning you have to rely on fast travel to take you places. So, I consulted my trusty journal, again, and found that you only had to press Shift and M to bring up the world map, select your next destination, then select the town you want to go to, and then select the fast travel icon. Like me, you may also have the burning question by now. Is it actually possible to walk there given that everything is randomly generated? And the answer is yes, technically. I'm not going to go into detail on how it works because I really don't know how it works myself. The game does allow you to physically walk from one place to another, but the journey would be like walking across the desert with nothing but the occasional landmark. It's vast, empty, and takes an absurd amount of time. With this newfound knowledge and the world of Tamriel as my oyster, I fast traveled to the city of Rehad, where right away I noticed a very different atmosphere. I don't mean the textures and the way the people dressed. It felt very alive. Sure, there were people in Winterhold that were walking around, but they stopped so you could interact with them. In Rehad, it felt very busy. I had to practically be a creep and chase someone down to ask them a question. Once I figured out that I needed to go to the palace to speak to the ruler of Rehad, I made my way there. I asked the ruler about Fang Lair. She said that she did know about it and would give me some information on the location, on the condition that I retrieve a parchment that was stolen from them. So I made my way to Stone Keep and explored the dungeon for literal hours. And after encountering enemies way above my level, I found the location of the parchment. The only thing I had to deal with were ghouls. After multiple attempts, and forgetting to hit record, I obtained the parchment for the ruler of Rehad. After returning it to her, I decided to call it at that point and explore the rest of Tamriel. I stopped by a few other provinces and was surprised by the diversity in each of the towns I visited. Okay, there really wasn't that much, but for a game that was 30 years old and used procedural generation, I thought they did a pretty good job. So, now we come to the big question I had at the start of this video. Does Elder Scrolls Arena still hold up to today's gaming standards? In my opinion, absolutely. The thrill of endless exploration, the diverse landscapes of Tamriel, and the sheer number of places to discover kept me wanting to play more. There's something special about getting lost in this massive world, and it's an experience I'm definitely going to keep coming back to. If you haven't played it yet, I definitely recommend giving it a try. Who knows? It might just be your new favorite game. Thanks for watching.